Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. It's Charlie. It's Wednesday, July 7th, 2021. It's just a little bit after 4 in the afternoon. Oh, so it's been a bit after I got released from the hospital. I don't even Friday sometime 2-3 weeks ago, I guess. And suffice to say that the whole experience there, honestly, I mean, I've been given a diagnosis, but the whole experience there was honestly really, really shocking for me to have gotten treated the way I got treated. I mean, I'm not talking about the like the nurses and everybody else, of course, all that kind of stuff, the nurses, the attending nurses, the changing nurses, and the orderlies, and people that take an x-ray, and all the techs, the phlebotomists. Oh, phlebotomists. You guys are great. And the guys over at the MRI and all that happy stuff. I mean, that was okay. It was just the doctors and the diagnosis. I mean, the most clearest thing that I got was that evening at the emergency room was the ophthalmologist said, and it took her a while. It took her, I would say, well over 30 minutes just to dilate my eye. And I think it was the left eye. It was not dilating. I mean, she's looking, she's waiting 10 minutes, and she's like, your eye it just won't dilate. And then finally, after so many attempts and so many squirts, finally she's like, well, this is about the best I can do. And ordinarily, it's kind of a slight discomfort when they take the little prism and they shine and they refract in the back of your eyeball and stuff like that. But that was the most excruciating. It seemed to last like an hour. I mean, that was a torture. That was really torture. And she's like, I can't see if you don't open. And I'm like, I'm trying. And I needed one of those eye clamps that was in Clockwork Orange, where Alex had his eyeballs, open and stuff. Because it was and I was trying not to, but it was hard to keep my eyes open and then look up at this way and then look up at this way, so that she may get a good look inside my eyeball and everything. And then finally, I think it was after midnight, something like that. It was pretty late. She finally says, yeah, you have, she said it really quick, and I'm tired. I hadn't eaten anything, and I'm just trying to, she said something about leakage, and you have a blood clot or a tear or something. And okay, well, what happened? Oh, this is the only thing that's happened in my life recently. Oh, okay, well, it's not that. Oh, it can't be that. High cholesterol, heart attacks. No, nothing. No. The only thing is stress, gastric bypass, shoulder replacement, seizure disorder. I'm not a diabetic. I don't have no blood disorders or heart disorders, or other than just asthma, which afflicts my family on my mother's side, and that's a whole spectrum right there. And nothing. It's just, no, you're allergic to this. No. Well, okay. Well, then finally, I think the next morning, after maybe a couple hours of sleep, and then finally getting something to eat when I got to my room, central Central retinal vein occlusion. Central retinal vein occlusion. Okay, well, blah, blah. Well, I go, well, again, and you know, for that up until pretty much discharge that morning, it's just like, well, again, has anything happened? No, other than just getting the stupid Moderna shot, that was it. Whoa. Did you get the second one? And every now and then it's like, well, yeah, I got the second one. Well, why? Because the media and the politicians were basically telling us that the other alternative was for all employees to get fully vaccinated so we can go mask-free, and that's what I desired. But that didn't come to pass, and now things have changed. But I'm not working now because I can't work, because I can't see. So I let those fucking scare tactics that I was so against get to me. And that, but it didn't do anything to that. But I kind of, I don't know, my skepticism and whatever, I still think it's caused some problems. I don't know, but. And the only other thing is like, yeah, okay, well, I'm also hyperglycemic. I developed blood clots really easy. Well, how did that happen? Well, when did you first get it? How long have you had this condition? Well, I was first diagnosed with it in 2016. That's when I couldn't barely walk more than 5 feet without gasping for air. I thought I was dying. It was beyond something a simple asthma attack because I could literally not walk. I was drained of energy. I could not breathe. I was very lightheaded. My head was spinning, etc., etc. Well, that's because I had 2 PEs, 2 pulmonary embolisms, and a big DVT, deep vein thrombosis, in my left thigh, and I think a smaller one in my right. That was in 2016. And then they immediately took me upstairs to observation intensive care. All night long, they kept giving me, oh crap, I can't remember now the blood thinners. They gave me an injection first, and then Coumadin. They gave me Coumadin, and then they gave me the other one, Warfarin, which is basically about the same, I believe. And nothing was happening, you know. They should have just. I told them, I go, just leave a PICC line or something in there, because you guys keep coming in here every hour and a half to do my blood, to go check for, because they wanted to check my numbers. And they're like, you can't leave this hospital until, because if you do, if we release you, you're gonna have a stroke. One of those clots is gonna break off, and you're gonna have a stroke. So then they tried Xarelto, I think, under their own guise, under their own judgment, and then the numbers started moving. They said rapidly, and they came in. Okay, well, we think now that we can release you, but we're still working on a little something. And I'm like, well, okay, well, what changed all of a sudden? Well, your numbers are coming down because we tried Xarelto. It's relatively a new drug out on the market, designed especially for this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, there's only one problem, is the insurance won't cover it. And I'm like, yeah, it's not the first time. That's what happens when you deal with Medi-Cal and Medicaid, and you just have poor man's insurance. Yes, I know. Okay. Well, we can't release you because you're going to end up being either back here or you're going to have a stroke out there and die. Okay, you know, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, all right. So finally, after a couple hours, after much convincing, well, you know what they do. It's like they tell the insurance company, either you give them this, it's a life-saving drug, or we keep charging you per day for his stay here until he gets better. Or which is it? Medical facility blackmail against insurance just to get things rolling, and, you know, I'm grateful for that, though. I was on it. I came back. How long have you been on it? A year. Okay, well, you don't need it. Have you had any problem? Blah, blah. Great. I feel fine. You know, I'm back to hiking and running, and like nothing ever happened. That was just so weird. Okay, well, yeah, you don't need to do it anymore. Fast forward to just recently. Well, why did you stop taking it? Well, I was told. Well, why? They asked me a couple of simple questions and says, okay, well, you don't need it. Well, I don't understand. Well, well, I don't either. I'm not the doctor. I'm not the physician. I'm not the one that diagnosed myself with this. If the doctor says do it, then do it. So now I'm here. I filed for the disability. I did what I did, and this. Let me say this. This thing has been more than a challenge, more than a nightmare. And I know some of you, oh, just another excuse. This morning when I woke up, the eyes. This is really obstructing this. I don't know how this is affecting this, but I don't know. This morning, I woke up and I went to the bathroom, and it's like I'm already approaching squinty-eyed, and it's like, okay, that's not that bright. And I got up and I went back and I laid down. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna get up. Yeah, because she ended up getting up right after that. And I turned on the TV and I kicked on the laptop and I started making my coffee, and the sign on screen came on. It's like, okay, well, it's not that bright. I'm like, oh crap, what happened? I could see almost as well as when I first went into the hospital. I'm like, oh crap, okay, yeah, all right. So I'm making my coffee and I'm waiting for the laptop to warm up and settle down so I can work on it and check whatever I can. And I'm like, okay, I can see a lot better than I could before I went to bed last night. Just within an hour, everything just I literally saw it. It's almost like watching a fog bank. I mean, me living in El Segundo in the beach city, I could just see the fog bank rolling in, and I'm like, oh fuck. But it was so weird because it was, I don't know how to describe it in a special effects way, but I can literally see, like, maybe if you notice, like when your transition lenses start to darken as you go outside, or in reverse, lighten up as you come into a darkened room. It's just, and then I'm just like, okay, yeah. One of the people that I had seen on one of the other channels talking about this said that they had good days and bad days, and up until now, this was just everything was just diminishing more, and then this morning everything was just like, oh, okay. That was just so weird. And coming out, everything was super bright. I had every intention of coming out, and actually I wanted to go down here to the gamble house and just sit there and kind of do a video and just chat with you folks, but I didn't. I just going to Smart and Final 3 blocks away was a hell of a challenge, and then coming back over here to get my ice. Oh, my ice is melting. I spend most of the time looking down because I can't see. My peripheral isn't too bad, but it's my depth. And then sometimes the lights that are flashing, I know where that's coming from. That's not so much as light. I kind of figured it's whatever liquid or the blood that's in there. When I turn, sometimes it creates this weird prism glow, and I kind of get in there. If I can kind of do it, I can flash it, kind of like when a bike reflector, you shine it and it just stays there glistening. I kind of like that, but that's where these, I would assume, I don't know, I'm still learning a lot about this stupidness, but yeah, the worst part about this, I have not gotten my blood thinners because I knew the insurance and they didn't. So now the pharmacy's waiting for the insurance to be able to get through the doctors, and I haven't been able to get the doctors because I just went and get my blood test and have to wait until the 12th. And there's no way of putting an expedition on this or a prompt other than me just going back to the emergency room, racking up another huge bill in less than 24 hours by the time I got home. And actually, the bills were already there when I got home from the hospital because of this. Good thing I didn't take an ambulance, because that would have been at least $3,000 ride for not even a mile. Barely a mile. So nothing can get going until they speak with the doctors to get an affirmation of a medical situation. Huntington's not doing it. They're putting it on their doctor. And I told them, I go, well, the thing is, I was in the process of getting a doctor. But that's where you're supposed to be going. Right, that's where the facility is, the insurance after I set it up. Okay, well then they'll once they establish and they answer, and so I'm going to end up most likely, probably, depending on how things happen, hopefully, my biggest fear is actually having a stroke. And I had something a while back that actually strikes a note with someone that I had seen regarding this situation, that they felt, and it resonates to something that I had felt about a year ago. So maybe that's when it started. I don't know, but this is kind of hard, and just the editing is a little bit easier because everything on my laptop now is much bigger, you know what I mean. But on this, and then especially, it's just, and then my worst fear is having that, well, I have to do that today, I have to do that, is get on food stamps. All right, my folks, that's it. That's pretty much it right now, and just in the midst of the whole everything up until now, and it's I've been so limited, other than just going to the Rose Bowl. That was about the most, and that was very arduous, just walking home from down there. I didn't want to walk this way because I would have, especially coming down the freeway, but I came up, I chose my path, so, and I knew there was a constant flow of people, so I was like an ant following the ones in front of me. So that was my guidance home. Other than that, it would have been it was kind of difficult, but luckily for the crowds, they guided me. All right, folks, you folks take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but always take care of yourselves first. Love one another, trust one another, be kind to each other, help one another. Don't take today for granted, or any other day thereafter. Live for the moment, pull down your pants and slide on that ice. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, what we're doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button, tell your friends and family about me, about us, and just a venting update. I'll let you know as I find out more and I finally get the doctor, and hopefully things will be better here. Now to try to consider myself disabled is another thing.